First, I'm going to crop this photo to 4:3, and then I'm just going to straighten it out as well. Next, I'm going to grab one of my presets to use as a base, and I think I'm going to go with B4 for this one. Then I'm going to lower our exposure, drop our highlights and our whites, and then just lift up our shadows a hair. Then I'm going to head down to our colors panel, and I'm going to increase our vibrance as well as our saturation. That introduced a lot of purple into this photo, and to correct for that, I'm just going to head over to our temperature slider and push it more towards the warm side. From there, I'm going to head down to our color mixer here. I'm going to grab our oranges. I'm going to push them a little bit more towards the magenta and then increase their saturation. And our sky's looking a little teal, so I'm also going to grab our blues here and push them more towards the magentas. Next, to give this photo a lot more dimension, I'm going to start adding in some masks. The first mask I'm going to use is a linear gradient coming up from the bottom of the photo, and I'm just going to lower the exposure on that linear mask to really start to push our focus more towards the center of the photo. Then I'm going to create a radial mask coming from the left-hand side of the photo, which is where the sun is rising. With that radial mask selected, I'm just going to increase our exposure, warmth, saturation, decrease our dehaze a bit, and then push the tint more towards the magentas. Once that's done, I'm going to create a sky mask, and then once I have that mask selected, I'm just going to decrease the exposure, drop our highlights, push our tint more towards the magentas, decrease our saturation, and then increase our dehaze. Next, I'm going to grab my brush tool here, and I'm going to brush over these parts of the mountain in the background that would be getting hit by our sunrise coming in. Once I've brushed over those, I'm just going to increase the exposure on those areas a little bit. Then once that's done, I'm going to head back to our light tab here, and I'm just going to decrease our exposure and drop our blacks. Next, I'm going to use my object selection mask so I can select her here in the bottom of this frame so I can edit her separate from the rest of the image. Once she's selected, I'm going to increase her exposure, highlights, warmth, and dehaze. Next, I'm going to make another radial mask coming from the left-hand side of the photo, but I'm going to lower it below the horizon. With that mask selected, I'm going to increase its exposure, warmth, push its tint towards the magentas, increase the saturation, and decrease the dehaze just a hair. And lastly, I'm going to create one more radial mask coming up from our horizon here, and I'm going to lower its exposure, increase its warmth and tint, increase the texture, and then lower the dehaze. And I think that'll do it for this one. So here's our before and our after.